What's up, guys? Your boy, 20K13. I'm going to talk about 10 NXT wrestlers who will never make it to WWE main roster. And this is coming from WhatCulture.com. The perception of NXT has changed dramatically over the last few years. What was once considered nothing more than a third brand eventually became a lauded developmental show under Triple H guidance. That developmental territory has gone on to produce a slew of great stars, many of whom have debuted on the main roster and have started enjoying greater success on Raw and SmackDown. However, NXT image has changed yet again, and it has now become an established third brand that attracts certain segments of the WWE universe who want an alternative to what Vince and company produce every week on Raw. Because of that, this whole developmental system idea has been thrown out the window, and the whole purpose of NXT as a training ground has transformed. The new reality is that while NXT still does provide some degree of training and preparation for the main roster, NXT is, NXT is its own show with its own stars, with plans to turn NXT into a touring brand of its own. There are many wrestlers whose hope of reaching the main roster have been dashed. Some of the 10 men and women discussed in the following page will not reach Raw or SmackDown because they lack certain characteristics needed to survive in the cutthroat world run by Vince McMahon. While others have become such significant figures for NXT that letting them graduate to the main roster would be more damaging to NXT than it would be beneficial to the main show. Number 10, Carmella. NXT is being praised routinely for how it presents its female talent. The women of NXT, especially Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bayley, and Becky Lynch, tend to put on stellar performances, and their matches are often considered match of the night whenever NXT holds its takeover special. However, there is one woman who falls to stand out when compared to her fellow women wrestlers, Carmella. As the valet of Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, Carmella had enjoyed a lukewarm response from the NXT crowd. While Amore and Cassidy are genuinely funny and witty, Carmella the third wheel that doesn't seem to fit in the group dynamic. Worse yet, she's nowhere near the level of in-ring skills as the other women, and that perception really damaged her chances of advancing to the main roster. Her biggest accomplishment so far have been squash victory against Blue Pants and a few matches against Alexa Bliss that have left a lot to be desired. As if that wasn't enough, even if she does improve her in-ring work, she has the fitness model background, which has actually been a major hindrance to fans' acceptance of newer divas. For example, both Eva Marie and Summer Rae came from this background, and their despite their improvement, fans' responses towards them, especially for Eva, have been borderline virulent. Unless she improves dramatically, Carmella might expect something similar for her. NXT is a wrestling show, and that's what she needs to work on. If not, she'll never reach the main roster. Number 9, Solomon Crowe. The main roster has too many wrestlers and characters on the show that it's very difficult for anyone not in the main event scene or pushed constantly to enjoy a long presence on the show. Because of that, a wrestler has to be charismatic and have a gimmick that not only stands out in a positive way, but is relatable to the audience. Solomon Crowe's gimmick barely qualifies as standing out in a positive manner because he's a hacker. Despite having considerable experience in independent promotions, including Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and Combat Zone Wrestling. The former Sami Callihan had been stuck with a gimmick that, despite its modernity, this via technology is incredibly out of place in WWE. Can you imagine seeing Callahan walking down the Raw entrance ramp, iPad in hand, messing with the audio and lighting system that Kevin Dunn and the production team hold so near to their heart? Not likely. Though the gimmick definitely unique. It's not really appropriate for the main roster, especially since the majority of gimmicks these days aren't even gimmicks, but personality quirks. Even if Callahan was an excellent wrestler and a masterful talker, he okay in both departments. The gimmick would be more of a dead weight to him than an asset on the main roster. Because of that, he should accept that NXT is his home, unless a radical gimmick change lies in his future. Number 8. Ty Dillinger. If there one attribute that Dillinger possesses that WWE management might like, is that he definitely looked like one of their wrestlers. But other than that, Dillinger has many things working against him that will prevent him from ever reaching the main WWE roster. First, there's his past experience with WWE. He signed with WWE in 2006 and spent over 3 years working his way through WWE developmental system. First, there was Ohio Valley Wrestling. Then there was Florida Championship Wrestling. And then there was Extreme Championship Wrestling. He went through all of these promotions and brands, yet failed to set the world on fire. As if that wasn't enough, his current run in NXT hadn't led to anything particularly interesting, outclassed by many more well-known and accomplished independent wrestlers. Dillinger has simply failed to stand out. He doesn't have a unique feature that draws the crowd to him, and has spent most of his NXT career as a tag team wrestler who changed partners alias Charlie Hawk. Dillinger is 34 years old and is on the lower end of the NXT card. Unless he's given a monstrous push in the near future, it's highly unlikely that he'll even see the NXT World Title picture, much less the main event roster. Number 7. Sylvester LaForte. Despite having been trained by Lance Storm, Sylvester LaForte came to WWE as a manager, which in this day and age doesn't seem like something that would succeed on the main roster. Very few managers truly succeed these days. Paul Heyman works so well because he's a unique figure who does things his own way and doesn't always follow WWE promo style. And Lana used her incredible appearance to attract attention toward her former charge Rusev. As a manager, LaForte hasn't accomplished anything significant in NXT. While he was once Rusev's manager and enjoyed a decent tag team run with Marcus Lewis, LaForte never managed to shine in either the managerial role or as an actual wrestler. It also doesn't help that he hasn't appeared on NXT programming in quite some time, whether it's due to an injury or a lack of creative direction for him. His absence can only be taken as a negative sign for his future. Despite trying different things on NXT, he hasn't found anything that works. As a result, don't expect to see the Frenchman anywhere other than the curtain jerker position on NXT. Should he ever return and have a meaningful creative direction. Number 6. Alex Riley. This is the only entry that counts as never appearing on the main roster again. Truth be told, Riley was once a major prospect for WWE. He had the look, he could work quite well in the ring, he had a strong finisher, and he was above average in promos. With enough work, there was belief that he could become a major player on the main roster. Sadly, those beliefs never materialized into anything tangible. His main event career never blossomed, and in a alleged confrontation with John Cena that turned bitter shattered any chances he might have of ever getting noticed ever again. It also didn't help that he sandbagged Jack Swagger really badly at one point on Raw. On NXT, Riley has tried being a manager, a commentator, and most recently, an active wrestler once again, yet none of those ventures succeeded. He doesn't seem to fit in with the other NXT wrestlers, and he simply cannot get people behind him like other wrestlers can. He can't play a believable babyface like Zayn, nor is he a good heel like Breeze or Owens. Perhaps while he recovers from his latest injury, Riley should contemplate quite seriously what his future in NXT holds for him. Because one thing is certain, he's never going to appear on Raw or in any main roster storyline again. Number 5. Mojo Rawley. Rawley's main event prospects aren't going to materialize anytime soon, if ever, because his gimmick and offense are far too similar to those of the Ultimate Warrior and not in a good way. Rawley's gimmick of being pumped up all the time is very hard to catch on to, and at times he seems like he's trying too hard or behaves obnoxiously. He thinks that he can harass some invisible energy and channel that into a victory in wrestling, but that only works if he actually has something to overcome or if he experiences a down period. I like Rawley gimmick so far speak more of a Vince McMahon idea than it does the genius of Triple H. Furthermore, Rawley would actually have a chance at reaching the main roster if only he used offensive moves that didn't involve his buttock. Rawley's signature moves are a running senton, a series of corner splashes, and a flying butt bump a la Naomi. However, any maneuver that involves a wrestler butt only works when that athlete a distinguishable feature. Naomi has wide hips, Rikishi wore a thong, and Yokozuna was master. That's why they use ass-based moves, and that's exactly who Rawley shouldn't. Rawley should be doing power moves and making use of his physique, not pretending to be a male version of Naomi. If he continues down his current direction, he will never convince the NXT audience that he a good wrestler, and will this never reach the main roster. Number 4. Bull Dempsey. When your signature chant is bull, 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 and fans respond with shit, 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 you know you in trouble. There was a time not too long ago when Bull would demolish Jobber one by one with relative ease, and fans actually got behind him to some degree. Unfortunately, not even his easy-to-follow catchphrase got over with the NXT crowd, and Bull began losing momentum. Now, under normal circumstances, a wrestler changes their gimmick at such a point to something more eye-catching or otherwise interesting, which and assess if what had happened to Dempsey. He gained some more attention by becoming a slob, and what sounded like a discarded gimmick for a big hungry Ryback. Bull Dempsey's limited moveset and less than positive fan response had been complemented by a gimmick that features a now out of shape Dempsey eating too much. This is in no way meant to be a main roster gimmick. It's clearly meant for the similar NXT crowd, just like Bo Dallas. Fans turning their back to him only works in the small venue. Despite his size and monster heel potential, Dempsey has become an overeating slob with a limited in-ring moveset. There is no way such a character will ever appear on the main roster, not even as a comedy character, because there are plenty of those on Raw already, and more aren't needed. Number 3. Bayley. There's no denying that Bayley has become surprisingly popular with the NXT audience. There's something about her gimmick that garner a positive reaction, no matter how cheesy or strange it may seem. But a weird gimmick and a company hairstyle to match do not a main roster diva make, no matter how many hugs she might give. Consider the main roster career of Bayley, rival Emma. She had a unique, awful, interesting, and dance which somehow became popular with the NXT roster. But as demonstrated by numerous graduates from NXT to the main roster, Emma's gimmick received no reaction whatsoever, and within a few weeks she became a comedy character before disappearing from the show altogether. This is the kind of fate that would await Bayley should she consider debuting on the main roster right now. Though she a great wrestler, and her gimmick is a huge sign of relief for those who are tired of seeing WWE women act like catty, jealous bitches. Everyone. Bayley and NXT act though. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though. NXT is Triple H domain, and he, like Bayley core gimmick, is a wrestling fan. A woman playing a wrestling fan character belonged on the wrestling show instead of on the entertainment show that featured little to no storyline and character development for every woman not named Stephanie McMahon. Number 2. Hideo Itami. There are 3 reasons for Itami's position here. The first is that he hasn't made as much of an impact on NXT as everyone expected. Kenta debuted on NXT during the latter half of 2014, and since then he has failed to make a major impact, even on a show where he often put against other ex-indie guys that he may have faced before. Kevin Owens is already on the main roster. There are rumors that Samoa Joe going to debut on the main roster soon. Finally, Finn Balor also came after Itami and is already farther ahead of him on the roster. Second, there is his physique and injury status. Itami is very small, even by cruiserweight standards, and getting injured and being put out of action for at least 6 months may lead to all of his momentum fading away. The main roster is Vince's domain, and small guys don't tend to do well over there. Finally, there's his wrestling style. Itami earned his reputation by being one of the stiffest wrestlers in all of Japan, and that wasn't always taken with respect. His moniker was that of a fight-starting kickboxer who always hit extremely hard, which is unacceptable in WWE. If a Tommy was to kick and slap people as hard as he did in NOA and Noah, he'll be punished before he get pushed. Sadly, it looks like Tommy going to spend the rest of his WWE career in NXT, never again experience the atmosphere of WrestleMania. Number 1. Finn Balor. Unlike other wrestlers on this list who won't make it to the main roster because they lacking a certain attribute, Finn Balor is here because he had everything that Triple H wants in a star, and as such should become the ace of NXT. With Vince planning on making NXT a touring brand like Raw and SmackDown, it stands to reason to have someone around whom you can build that brand. The main show have superstars like Cena, Rollins, and many others, while NXT star power is fading because of injury and an influx of NXT stars going to the main show. Because of that, if there any NXT wrestler who should stay in NXT, it should be Balor. Just as well, Balor's role as a small yet energetic high flyer had been taken by Neville. If Balor was to debut on the main roster, he wouldn't have anything separating him from Neville, with the exception of his Demon Balor image, but that would only be staged for a special occasion. Balor is arguably the most popular wrestler on NXT and can easily draw in a crowd with his appearance and matches. However, Balor shines in longer, more technical matches that are built around Triple H vision, and that's not something that's likely to be seen on Vince Raw anytime soon. Because of that, Balor will stay in NXT as Triple H ace, the guy around whom the brand will grow and compete with the main roster. Well, that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.